So about a month ago I made a community post where I showed that I had just gotten a sub 30 Minecraft speedrun when BurgerFan27 commented, "I'm scared, you're catching up to my PB." So out of curiosity I decided to ask him what his PB was, and he said it was 26:07. Now keep in mind the run I had just gotten was a 28:15, which was already a Hail Mary in its own right. But even still, knowing this, I told him that I was going to beat it soon. And he even told me I should title the next video Beating BurgerFan's PB if I did beat him.
Now, as you might be able to tell, that's not what this video's titled.
But it's not a personal thing, I swear, it's just I need views. So after over a month and more than 1,000 seeds rolled, I finally got the run, so here it is. The seed loads up and I'm in an ocean, which is something you really want to see, and even better, I'm on an island. Perfect spawn. And it gets even better because I turned around and saw a full shipwreck, which is actually really good because sometimes you'll just get the food chest in shipwreck, so I'll take it. So I swam over to it and got a decent amount of iron from it, and yes, my crafting kind of sucks here, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the first games in that session, so I have an excuse. And unfortunately, the food chest didn't have any actual food, but it's fine because I spotted a ruined portal in the distance, which could have food, so I went there. And the chest wasn't anything special. I mean, it had a couple pieces of gold, a golden apple, so I guess that counts as food, some boots, and a sword, which didn't have looting, unfortunately. So as far as ruined portals go, not terrible, but not great either. But what I saw next was what really made the run good. As I swam up from the ruined portal and hopped into my boat, I spotted an ocean monument. Monuments can be very good in speedruns, and they can actually result in very fast times because you can grab the 8 gold blocks from them and then go into the nether and just find a couple pigs and trade with them. You don't even have to go into a bastion, and if you get lucky, you can spawn right by a fortress and it can be super quick. And this monument wasn't so close that it had a chance of already charging up the mining fatigue from the Elder Guardians, so I decided to hit it. I mean, there's no way they're gonna give me mining fatigue and I'm gonna have to kill the run, right? Yeah, no, they didn't. I got the 8 gold blocks and swam away unharmed. So now all I had to do was find a magma ravine pretty close by and I would be into the nether at a decent time. And luckily there was one decently close by. It only took about 30 seconds to boat to it. I had a little bit of a mistake here where I didn't see the flint I had mined out was staying on the bottom of the ocean instead of rising to the top, so that kind of confused me, but after that I was into the nether at about 5 minutes. So I got in and instantly started using my pie chart to see if I could find a fortress nearby. The way it works here is that my pie chart is checking every chunk in my render distance for block entities, the 2 main ones in the nether being chests and spawners. And if a spawner does render in, it'll show up as a light blue part of the pie, which will hopefully lead me towards a fortress. Because, as you might know, there are blaze spawners in the fortress. It can sometimes lead you to treasure bastions because those have mab cube spawners, but I'm willing to play around the risk. But unfortunately here, after a long time of loading in chunks, I didn't get a single spawner, so I didn't have a fortress nearby. I was about to quit this run, but then I saw I was in a crimson biome, and those tend to have a lot of piglins and hoglins, which will help me get some food, so I decided to just grab a couple of them and trade them here. If I get enough piglins and a bit lucky on my trades, it'll be like I found a bastion early. So I angered a bunch of the piglins and got them into my trading hole and killed a bunch of hoglins at the same time because remember I didn't have any food, so I needed some desperately. Then not too long later I looked at my pie chart again and saw that I did have a spawner, which meant there might have been a fortress nearby. It was 16 chunks away, but I knew the direction, and hopefully if the terrain wasn't terrible I'd be able to get there quickly and this run could be alright.
That's what we in the business call foreshadowing.
Because after getting my trades sorted out, which were actually pretty good all things considered, I started heading in the direction that I knew the fortress might be. But there were just 2 problems. Number 1, there are a bunch of hoglins still chilling around, which wasn't that big of a deal actually because I still did need some more food preferably. But the second problem was that the terrain, as mentioned before, was not good at all. I started running in the direction that I thought would open up, but it didn't end up opening up at all and just caved me off. So I wasted nearly 3 minutes running around trying to find a place where it opened up a bit, which isn't great, but it's still a good run, trust me.
It's not like I'm mad or anything, you know, I'm not even angry about it.
After a lot of running though, it eventually did open up and flatten out, which was great because now I'd actually be able to travel easily and maybe even see the fortress easily. And that I did, seeing it out of the corner of my eyes just a few seconds after the good terrain started. I feel like this is proof, if anything, that terrain is very important in the nether. And all it took was a couple pearls and I was there at just about 13 minutes and I had all the time in the world to kill my blazes. But I didn't need it because my blaze rod reward rates were absolutely insane. I only had to kill around 10 blazes for 7 rods, which for me is unheard of. I usually have really poor rates, needing to kill almost 20 per run. Actually, scratch that. I got an 8th one from this one, and I was about to go for a 9th, I guess, but then this wither skeleton started attacking me and I almost died, so I ran away. And once again, very luckily for me, I had gotten just enough obsidian from my piglin trades to make another portal instead of having to go back to my home portal. This is huge because now instead of spawning right near 0-0 where I spawned in the real world, I would be able to be thousands of blocks out, which would put me really close to the stronghold if I was lucky. So I went to what I thought would be decent coords and made my portal, and when I spawned into the overworld, I saw what every runner wants to see. Ocean. This is great because hopefully if the ocean lasts long enough, it'll be much faster than running over the land. Even if the stronghold is 1500 blocks away, I can still get there in just a couple of minutes on boat. I mean, obviously it'd be better to spawn like right on top of the stronghold, but it's a 1 portal blind, so I wasn't gonna give any hopes to that. So I sailed away with all the wood and food I would need for the rest of the run and hoped that it would just be exposed in the ocean. That would be way better. Unfortunately, as I approached land, I didn't see it, and I thought maybe it was just covered by the sand because the ocean was pretty high, but I knew deep down it was going to be on the land. So I ran for a little bit and then threw another eye, and it turned around, which meant it was right on the coastline, probably. And yeah, after throwing a couple more eyes to confirm it, I found out that it was right on the coastline. Kinda unfortunate that it wasn't revealed, but oh well, I'll have another run like that someday. And so, like all other runs I've done in the past, this is when the nerves started to really set in. Just to set the scene for you a little bit, I had been trying for over a month now, day in and day out, doing run after run after run, hoping to get a PB that would be better than Burger Fan, and I just couldn't get it. In fact, I had even gotten another run previously where I got into the end at 22 minutes, and the dragon proceeded to not perch for 6.5 minutes, which is what made me start actually trying half bow when I got the bow I needed. So I really wanted this to be the one, and this was the best chance I had gotten since that run. But things weren't looking good. As you can probably see on the screen right now, this nav was absolutely terrible. I couldn't find the portal room for anything, and there were so many paths to take. I was starting to lose hope, upset that I hadn't gotten it just because of a really bad stronghold when I stumbled upon the portal room. And this was it. I had to get into the end as soon as I possibly could so I could get the best possible perch. So I placed the eyes, dug up, purled in, and crafted my items. And right as I was done putting my beds into the positions in my hotbar, the dragon decided to go at the lowest possible point. If I hadn't noticed that this could have possibly been a perch, I don't know what would have happened, and I was already cutting it close, as you're about to see. It wasn't a good one cycle by any means. 7 beds to kill the dragon isn't great, but I didn't care. I did it! I beat Burger Fan! So with a new PB under my belt and the satisfaction that I was finally done grinding as hard as I was, I watched as the credits started to roll. And then immediately hit escape and went to check the seed because I was just too excited. And you want to know the worst part about this run? Burger Fan's probably already gotten a better PB than this run. Well, fuck.